Hi guys, welcome back. So, Donkey Kong Bonanza has been out for a little bit more than a week now, and it sounds like most people are loving the game, including myself. I just finished it a couple days ago, so expect a review soon. But there's a little bit of a problem with the game, and I'm not just talking about the frame rate, although that may be part of it. And what am I talking about? If you haven't read the title already, well, it sounds like Donkey Kong Bonanza is making some people sick. Like, actually physically sick. I can only imagine how horrible it must feel to wait all this time for a new Donkey Kong game, only to get sick by playing it when it finally releases. It's been 11 years since Tropical Freeze, and we haven't gotten any real Donkey Kong game since then. There's been spin-offs and re-releases, but Bonanza's the first true new Donkey Kong game in over a decade. Imagine not even being able to enjoy it because it's making you nauseous and dizzy while playing. From what I can tell, this happens for two main reasons. Both the frame rate and the horrible camera itself. And honestly, the camera really sucks. Honestly, it's my biggest problem with the game. It's dynamic and gets way too close, especially when going underground and smashing through things. It's important to note that Bonanza doesn't really have a lot in terms of customizability. You can turn off motion controls and turn off the camera shake, and that's about it. Some people have reported a better experience by disabling these features, but this isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Some people are still having this issue, and they're unable to play the game as a result. And honestly, the lack of customizability is nothing new for Nintendo. Going back to the Wii, many games had forced motion controls. Anyone remember how you had to shake the Wii remote to roll in Country Returns? Or how Skyward Sword completely relied on motion controls and didn't even allow for a left-handed control scheme, even though, Miyamoto is left-handed himself? That one was always weird to me. But it shows that Nintendo's stubborn, and they know best. Play the game we want you to play, and play it the way that we want you to. And listen, I'm in favor of creative freedom. I think a developer should be able to make the game that they want, but I think it should be accessible to as many people as possible. Gaming itself is something that's really not that accessible of a hobby. It's a lot less approachable than picking up a book or watching a movie or even watching a TV show. You have to be a lot more involved, a lot more engaged. And if even one thing goes wrong, it can hinder the experience for you. It can make it less enjoyable. And it can make it so that someone might not even try a game because they don't think it's made for them, because of something that they can't even control. When Nintendo started out, they were making simple games that were easy to pick up and play. Mario was just run and jump, that's it. And it was part of what made it so approachable in the first place. It was part of what made it so appealing to people. Or heck, even go back to Pac-Man, where you just moved the joystick in 4 directions and collected pellets, while avoiding ghosts in a maze. Super simple. As games have gotten way more complex, they've become a lot less approachable and a lot less accessible as a result. I think Donkey Kong could solve this motion sickness issue by letting you turn off the dynamic camera and also letting you turn on a performance mode. Gameplay over graphics for me personally. While we're at it, can we add a brightness slider to all Nintendo games? As someone that's visually impaired, some Nintendo games are way too bright. They're colorful and that's great, but they can also be hard to see sometimes because of that. It just seems like a total oversight to not have something like a brightness slider. It really feels like 99% of AAA games have something like a brightness slider and other accessibility features, and the 1% of games that don't are Nintendo games. I remember when Breath of the Wild first came out, and I was loving the game, but I really wished I could change the brightness without messing with it on my TV myself. The lighting was just too bright in some areas, and it made it hard to see. I did love the game, but it still hindered my enjoyment, at first at least. It was something I got used to though. I try to push through on games that might not be made for me, might not be made for someone that's blind or visually impaired. It is worth noting that the Switch 2 has a accessibility menu, but it's a little poorly implemented. The zoom feature is great and all, but text-to-speech only works in menus. It doesn't work in games or the shop. High contrast looks good in some areas of games, and horrible in others. I just wish there was an easy toggle to switch between the two. But the lack of accessibility really seems to be an issue with Eastern developed games, not even just Nintendo games. Outside of Capcom, most developers of Eastern developed games don't even offer accessibility features. It's more of a habit adopted by Western developers. Probably the best example of this, even though I kind of hate the game, is The Last of Us Part 2. I think the gameplay is pretty good, but the story really sucks. But it does get an A+ for accessibility. They really thought of everything. It has audio description for almost every menu. It tells you quantities of items, and much more. It was really made so that anyone could play it. There's a lot the industry can learn of what not to do from this game, but accessibility is one thing the industry can learn from this game. A little nugget, if you will. Sorry for any Last of Us 2 fans though. The game kinda sucks. Sorry, not sorry. Jokes aside, what do you guys think? Do you think games like Bonanza need to offer more customizability? Do you think there should be only one way to play a game? Do you agree that there's a lot of oversights in the gaming industry, particularly with Eastern developed games? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, I would love to hear them. And thanks for checking out the channel. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, it would really help out. Thanks guys, bye.